Alright, so welcome to my little video about me learning Go and by creating a system monitor client or agent and server. So basically what it's going to do is just gather some information and send it to the server. The server's going to store it in a database, and then I can read performance stats and stuff from that back and forth. And if I have time and feel like I might set it up where you can send commands to the agent from the server that will be executed on the client, or on the agent. And yeah, so currently I just want kind of feedback on how I've set everything up, since I don't have much experience in Go, and a lot of it is just kind of me googling and entering things. So this is the server, so TinyMonitor, and all the code will be on GitHub, and I will link the GitHub. Essentially, what I'm using is for messaging is called NanoMessage, and there's a pure Go implementation of it, which I really like, so that I don't have to have anything else. It's all pure Go. And that's used to currently just pair. I'm using pair, but I probably will have pub sub and maybe some other configurations in the future. So basically what I'm doing is when the server starts, I'm going to go to my config package. I have a couple of sub packages like package config and then package messaging. And the way I did this is I split it up into two separate repositories, so that at the time it kind of made sense. I would have the agent and then I would have the server. So, but a lot of them are reusing a lot of things. So what I have done is I'm actually grabbing, there's the server there, and currently I'm using a lot of the messaging part of that. So the sub package of TinyMonitor is package messaging. So I just have this replaced so that I don't have to push before I can use it. So and other than that, I'm using Viper for configuration. My config package, this is on the server, basically takes in a TOML file and then kind of gets all the settings set up. And then the logger, I'm using ZeroLog. This is my first try with that. I've used Logrus in the past, but thought I'd take a look at ZeroLog. Kind of liking it so far. So, and for the database, I'm using Storm, which is a Bbolt add-on, I guess, or extra layer that gives you a little bit more features. So that's creating a database. And if we go back to main, so basically the first thing to do is do config setup server, which reads in the TOML file using Viper and gets the database set up, I believe. And then I'm deferring stormdb.close. So basically this is returning elements of that which are set up in here, and then I'm deferring the close until this is done, and then I'm initializing the database, and then I'm injecting this. So say like my messaging here, so it has access to those variables, is injecting it into those into that package, the messaging package, the logger, and the storm database. Not sure if that is the preferred method. It just seems a little weird because I'm generating it in the config package, but it's passing it back to here where it is being kind of initialized and set up and then injected into another package. Probably is not the correct way to do that, but and then basically just printing out a log and info. Then I'm making a channel. This is really my first time working with channels. Then I'm doing a Go pair socket. Basically, it's setting up a permanent pair socket to list for messages from agents. So basically, this is all NanoMessage. It just sets up a pair socket and then waits for any messages from a client, and then it decodes. It goes into the messaging message decode, sends a message in there. And this I'm not quite sure. This is basically copy paste, but essentially how it seems to work so far is by default this will just print out just sitting here waiting in the main routine while this runs in the background. The pair socket just constantly waits. So I can do other things in here, and I believe, I haven't tried this, but if I send something it should exit the channel. But so far that hasn't really been needed. So now the messaging, this is shared by both the client and server, except the client is pulling it in from the server GitHub. So and these are the variables, the logger and the Storm database. And register agent, that's going to be just, currently it just has an agent ID, agent host name, IP address, and join date. I'll probably be adding a lot more in there. Some unique identifier, something like that. So, and then for messaging, I'm using GOB encoding, so just the basic one that comes with Google standard library. And I'm using a blank interface for this, since I believe that's how that's supposed to work. I have a little bit more experience with sending messages over the WebSocket technically, but not a whole lot. And then I'm registering the register agent. This is for message decode. So I'll probably be having to register a lot of things for the message decode, depending on how it works. Most likely I'll have to register all of the message types, and then currently I have a case switch, which if it's a register agent, and then it goes to register agent, handler. So I can probably move the register into here, maybe. No, I don't think I can, because I need the new decoder there, so it has to be registered for the decoder. So anyway, point is I'll have to do a lot of registering, I think. Not sure if that's a better way to do that or not. But anyway, then I create a buffer decoder, and then I dump that into the decoded message, which is basically just the base message. Then doing a lot of, this is just for printing, just for testing currently. If we're not able to decipher it, otherwise it will switch on the message type with the register agent. So, and the encode, you're registering again this, since that's currently pretty much the only thing I do with that. And then just a print statement for testing, new encoder, dump it in there. And then register agent handler is decode. Yeah, register agent handler is here. That will basically, it prints out what it has, and then it saves it to the database. So basically, let's pop that out, and then the server will start running. So listen socket created with no errors, logger set up, that whole sort of thing. And then if we get to the just sitting here, that's the the coroutine is running in the background. So now we grab the agent here. I don't know if I showed this on the correct monitor. Whatever. And we're to a go run main.go. And there we go. I don't have it doing anything besides it connects to server, and that's about it. So currently it's going to dial to server with no errors. It'll dial, and then it will send out that register type, and it will, and then the server will send a response back just saying server send response. You notice in here we have a break here, message received from agent, then it shows the message in there, and then we can run it a second time, and it will pop through there again, and it will dump that again to the database. So close that, and we're just just going to copy over this. No Sierra registered agent. We have 2 agents in there. Obviously they have the same name, just slightly different join date. And that's pretty much it.